Okay, so this is a video for the problem I've been having with drivers above 452.06 in World of Warcraft. I haven't tried it in any other game, but if you look at the frame rate, it is at 93. I frame limit down from 95 down to 93 so that it's very quick for input lag. Even if it was at 95 with no frame limiting, fast sync is turned on and it would go down to 95. If I were to upgrade the driver and I turned fast sync on, it would be at 130, 140, and the definition of fast sync is that it drops the frames above the monitor's refresh, which is currently at 95. So it's not on. It just doesn't turn on. But this is for the good driver. I'm trying to get the best quality video that I can here. So if I walk forwards and backwards here, you could see how the arch is, how nice and smooth this whole thing is. I'll go ahead and I'll run a lap around here and you can see how smooth everything is when I turn the camera. Everything's perfect, everything's smooth. Sometimes there's some stutter in a town or when I'm doing stuff, but the stutter is maybe like 5% of the time, and I'm willing to put up with it because it's smooth the rest of the time. That's just how this driver is, that's how the game is. So this is as perfect as I can get it. And any driver after this is like sorely lacking and disappointing, but you'll be able to see from the frame rate counter why it's not working with fast sync turned on. Okay, so this is on driver version 461.51. I upgraded with a clean installation, and doing a clean installation actually yielded some different results. So I am not frame limiting at all right now, so I should be getting a max of 95. That being said, the FPS value is not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is how stuttery and choppy this is. Not only is it stuttery and choppy, but you can see a scan line. If you look really hard, there's a couple right there. It happens more when I turn. So what I said about the frame rate being uncapped was probably my fault because I didn't do a clean installation. If I had just upgraded without doing a clean install, this would be sitting at 140, 150 right now. I don't know what causes this. What I can try is changing the power limit in EVGA, because sometimes if I mess with that, it gets rid of some chop. Let me try that really quick. Okay, so I changed the power limit from 100 to 105, and once that recording started thing goes away, now you can see this is with fast sync on and uncapped. So not only does the nVidia driver somehow screw with EVGA's power limit, I'm not running MSI Afterburner, so EVGA is the only thing with the power limit. The geforce driver screws with it somehow. Even though it says it's at 100, it's not at 100. I have to manually go and change it to another value and hit save. You saw the frame rate value before. It has now changed. So what I said was correct, after all. You could see it's getting anywhere from 120, 150. It jumps around. But this is with fast sync on. It's not supposed to do this with fast sync. It's supposed to be at 95 or below. And that being said, it's less choppy because the power limit hasn't been messed with. I don't get how it messes with it, but clearly it does, because the only thing I changed between that video cut was it was at 100. I changed it to 105 and hit apply, and you could see the results. It's not at like 70. Well, I guess it is kind of there. You can see when I turn over here. This is a bad spot for a while with this video card, but you could see it's a lot smoother than it was, but it still chops like crazy. I don't know if you can notice you're not even going to be able to notice it because it takes the video at 60 frames per second, and like it's a lot smoother when it's smooth and a lot more choppy noticeable when it's choppy. But maybe if I just walk back and forth like I did before, you can see how like stuttery and skippy it is. Maybe I have to turn up the power limit. I don't know, even more. Like maybe it requires more power with this driver or something. I don't know. But it's definitely not as smooth as it was. And it's definitely not supposed to be at 110. It's supposed to be at 95. So it's not working the way that it should. Unfortunately, it's barely showing the choppiness. It's definitely there. But I don't know. It's definitely noticeable in game. Everything has like a minor chop to it. It's not smooth the way that the original one was, but the video doesn't really show it. But you can see the result in the frame rate. You can see if I go left and right here, that big circle thing in the middle just chops a whole lot. It's not supposed to do it at all. I mean, if I put the other driver back in, it wouldn't do this. You can see the screen's blanking out a little bit as I up the power limit to 115. I'm going to turn that off. Alright, I turned the power limit back to 100. And if I go left and right, you can see just how stuttery, what a stuttery mess this is. Seems to happen more when I go left and right. Note that it seems to happen to stutter when the frame rate goes over 95. When you see it dipping below and you don't see a flat line of whatever that is, I don't even know how it's getting that arbitrary limit of like 120 and it hits a ceiling. But when I'm looking at like the floor, you could see it's like, oh, like, so like 125, that's when it starts to chop.